Welcome to the station. Welcome to the station.
Welcome to the Station Podcast, where your refuel is a must. This is a place where we don't run from it, we grow from it. Listen, really quickly, if you have not took the time to subscribe to this channel, I need you to make sure that you hit that button right there, that button that's moving on the screen. Go ahead and subscribe to it so you can keep up to what's going on at the station. Y'all, I'm excited about today because we have a great episode lined up. As I told y'all, from season 1 to season 2, there's going to be a difference. We still going to get to the nitty gritty of our spirituality and things of that nature. But I also want to open the platform up where you can see that ministry is being done in the marketplace. So I have my friend, I have my brother, my once brother that I used to work with when I was out there in the heat with him in Dallas, Texas, Coach Wise of Wall Street Athletes. Y'all give him some love.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Listen,
you know,
y'all,
yeah,
this episode about to be crazy.
Yeah.
Because my bro, listen, you talking about a character, you talking about somebody that got life and he lives life to the fullest through his organization and everything that he does. I'm super excited to talk with him today. Coach Wise, let him know who you are. Tell him about Wall Street Athlete. Give him a little bit about yourself.
Well, appreciate you for having me on the show, bro.
Yes, sir.
So my name is Coach Wise Salumba. Man of many talent, but one as Ajae said, we talk about, spirituality, calling, purposes. So Wall Street Athletes, this is my sanctuary of being in a church, but mentoring the youth, from the females, the athletes, on the sports spectrum. A little different environment, but
same mission.
It's still, no differential than a Sunday school teacher and a church camp, church
sure.
camps and
For sure.
counselors,
For sure.
So we're about to get this show on the road and, let's get it rocking,
Listen, let me just give y'all a disclaimer really quickly. My brother is the only one that could call me Ajae. All y'all call me AJ.
Oh,
He
yeah.
called me Ajae. He is the only one. When he first said it, I said, bro, you know it's AJ. He's like, it pronounced Ajae. So guess what? Ajae it is today.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
Coach Wise, y'all, if y'all don't know who this man is, if you're in the DFW area, Fort Worth, Dallas, anywhere in the Tarrant County, anywhere in Texas, this man is not just known in Texas, but he's known all across the world for what he has done for many athletes going to the next level. He has trained them up from 7, 8-year-olds?
Man, 7, 8 years old, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
Until as long as they're with me, as long as they're around me, they age out with me to college, and we have some making the transition into professionals.
Okay.
From the time I, got brought to this mission. Didn't ask for it, but it just led me to it.
Isn't it crazy how things work like that? You don't ask for it, but when you're in position, God just opened the door for you.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where people ask me all the time, like, why? It's like my parents, everybody was asking me, played at the University of Utah, you got a degree in accounting, in economics, and after that, you playing a little pro, and then you end up going to SMU, you get a master's in law, social justice and stuff. What are you gonna do? I'm about to go make big money.
What's next, right?
So it's like, and then 2020, while playing, everything's shutting down, and this
God
just
gave this
happens,
to
and
you.
it's like, I didn't ask for this, like.
So wait, hold on. We gotta slow down, y'all, because he getting into some questions that I ain't even tap into yet. But before we go any further, let me just let you know really quickly that me and Coach Wise met through my nephew.
Yes.
My nephew was one of his athletes. Shout out to my nephew, Trey Parks Vincent. He was at Nolan Catholic at the time. Well, he came from Fossil Ridge and went to Nolan Catholic.
Yeah.
And then one year I'm called, my nephew's like, Unc, I'm playing 7-on-7, meet me in Florida. So I fly down to Florida. I meet Coach Wise. They put me to work as soon as I got there, y'all. I'm on the camera, the GoPro camera doing the work. Yeah. And when I tell y'all, he had these boys playing like they was grown men out there.
We should have won those tournaments, all 4 teams.
Yeah, they cheated, y'all. He has dealt with some great athletes, y'all. I wish I could name them all, but just know half of the ones that he has worked with are playing on the television that you're watching right now.
Yes.
So let's get into it, man. Where did the idea of Wall Street come from? I heard you say in COVID 2020 something came.
So, like, a long story, make it short. So, my biggest thing, And it goes back to, people. So it goes back like this. So a lot of people, right, they get full off of people's words.
Okay.
It is no difference to the enemy. The enemy lied to Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
With the word.
With the word.
So I tell people,
Y'all hear this?
I'm not the type of motherfucker that's gonna fool you with my words.
Okay.
Okay, my actions are gonna show.
Okay.
It's like I'm gonna say less, now I'm gonna do more.
Okay.
People wanna, say more, so they can get intrigued with you. And then sooner or later, by the time you say more, it's like down the road like manipulative. So the name Wall Street didn't really come to me until 2022.
Okay.
So what really started about, it was like, I gotta show people. I don't wanna do this.
Right.
I'm put in this situation. It's COVID, got all these kids. I don't wanna do this.
Right.
Man, I'm a big kid myself.
Right.
At the time being 28 years old, I'm a big kid myself. I'm like,
Right.
man, I'm not trying to deal with this. So I started asking myself, okay, it's COVID. It's a lot going on. I gotta show you better than I can tell you. So the name of it was really Showtime Training Performance. It was just something that's like, okay, Showtime Training Performance. Let's get going. Let me get these kids training, get them to college, and then I'm bouncing. I'm gonna go play because I just had signed a contract to go play in Japan.
Wow.
I just signed a big contract to go play in Japan.
They got football in Japan?
Yes.
I never knew that, y'all. I'm getting
Great,
education.
and it's great football in Japan.
Wow.
So I'm about to go to Japan. I can go work there. I speak 4 different languages. I'm not trying to be here. This ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is not it. Fuck that. Start working with the athletes. 2021, things are still not cleared yet with the lower levels of football. 2022, it's like, man, here we are.
Right.
And that's whenever I was like, hey, we're gonna go to Florida. And that's whenever your nephew Trey, and he's like, hey, coach, my uncle's out there. And then that's whenever we met, And then about after Trey's season, that 2022 class, because that class, that's a tough class.
Yeah, that class.
That's a tough class.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. That's a tough class. They still balling right now. That's a tough class.
Yeah.
So 2022, after training season got done, and I'm like, Lord, you gave me something. I don't know how to capitalize off of this. I don't want to do this.
So let me stop you right quick.
Yeah.
I want y'all to hear something really quickly. Even when God gives you a sign, even when God gives you the mission,
Yeah.
you still have to ask for the details, right?
Exactly.
And you get a lot of people, I'm starting to see a lot of people because, me being in pastoral ministry now 3 years, a lot of people has asked me, well, how do I move it? And my question to them be, well, have you asked God?
Yeah.
Because God is going to send people to confirm what he had already told you. So now you're asking God, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm asking God, I'm like, look, Lord, shoot, I'm not here to kill, steal, destroy, but I can, on the field, I'm a lunatic, I'm a whole other monster. I'm a character.
Right.
I don't want to be that character right on the camera, but
Right.
I'm a character.
Right.
So times are going by. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna take a trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma. 2 of the boys were playing football there. Just signed there. I'm like, I'm gonna go visit them.
Okay.
Because they were just like, Coach, come by and visit us. And I've never been. So I go visit the kids at Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then I go visit a church. There was a Sunday service, Michael Todd Transformation Church.
Transformation, shout
So
out
I
to
go
Mike
visit
Todd.
that, and then they had something up there, write down your vision.
Write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah, and I'm like, man,
Wow.
I'm still trying to go to Japan because 2023, I'm still trying to go.
Right.
But then I'm like, something hits me. What would you do if that was you? I'm like, what would you do if that was you? I was like, because I'm not the type to go tell people, oh, God said that's not me. I more so show the Lord through my compassion, my generosity, and my actions. Because you look at me, you'll be like, man, that guy's crazy. No, but it's through my love.
But watch this. I'm going to stop you real quick because you said you're not the one to do that. That's actually wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Because I tell people, even with me being a pastor, I tell people you got to be careful saying what God said because some people, if they don't have a relationship with God and they believe you more than they believe God,
Exactly.
if it don't happen, then they're upset or they're coming at you because you said God said. So I like you using Wise is using wisdom. That's his name.
So now people take that the wrong way.
Right.
So and it's also one of those things is like, if I can't quote scriptures, everything out of my mind, the biblical this and that, I'm going to watch what I say, but I'm also going to do because at the same time, he still has me going through a transition of something like you know. So we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I go to Transformation Church. They had an event. I just wrote this down. I said, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. I know how to ball. I know I can talk. I know how to promote.
Right.
Because I used to run a lot of nightclubs.
Right.
And I know how to put, promote, you know.
No, ain't nothing wrong
So
with
I go, so if this what you gave me, I'm just gonna do what I can do with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, working in football, working in basketball. So I wrote it down. And then they were like, hey, you know, these are one of the things you do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, Wall Street, and at the time it was Black
Wall Street.
Black
Yeah,
Wall Street.
for sure.
So I go down there, I'm just walking down Black Wall Street. I'm like, man, I didn't really know much about this, you know, the economics. It's like I'm an economic accounting guy.
Right.
So I'm just, okay, dang.
That boy know the numbers.
I'm like, they had a lot of stuff up and running here, 1921. So after that, it was November 2022. So December, I come back home. January, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. Because the funny thing is this, I've always asked God, Lord, let me be a general manager. That's what I've always seen as a general manager of an NFL team. You know, in Dubai, working with the kings and queens in the palace. Something of that nature, that's what I've always envisioned.
Right.
But I just never knew how it looked like, how everything gets shooken. And I didn't know how to start.
Right.
But I've always had the concept of being the curiosity of how did Goldman Sachs, how did Charles Schwab, how did these guys become who they are?
Right.
How did all these successful companies become who they are?
Right.
How did they start? It's like, well, you want to know? Little sharks go into big sharks. Big pastors start with the youth into big pastors. Hey, he was once a shepherd and he became a king. But people don't know about the shepherd that had to go get the lion, got to go kill the bear.
You know what's crazy though, bro? I still tell people, you know, because you know my dad was a pastor.
Yes,
you know
sir.
a little bit about me.
Yeah.
And my dad always taught me, man, you be amongst the people. You always want to be a shepherd that smell like your sheep, right?
Exactly.
But sometimes you can get too big and then act like you're better than everybody, and then God got to quickly humble you. But I'm good, and I'm good at knowing that, you know, when you're in leadership like us, humility is something that you have to have.
Yes.
You can't be arrogant. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some type of composure.
Yes.
Even dealing with people, because here's the reality, y'all. Even though he's not a pastor, he's still in leadership. He's still leading people. He's still developing people, which is leading me to this, right?
Yes.
I want to ask you something really quickly. Also, you forgot to let them know. Wise, where are you from? Let the people know where you're from, bro. Give them your history, because this dude's history is crazy. Just give them about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
So I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which at the time was named Zaire. Now it's Congo. You know, now everybody knows us, especially after 54 years. We're back in the World Cup this year.
For sure.
You know, so
you was
DRC,
texting me. He was texting me stuff and posting it on Facebook like crazy.
So here we are. So the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. So that's where I was born. Migrated in the States whenever I was 10 years old, and been here ever since then. You know, and then you know, I'm blessed enough to speak French, Lingala, understand Swahili, and dialects of Arabic. So here I am.
So this man is very well versed, which leads me to this. What was the passion that came off of the football field that drew you into wanting to develop young men, young women in sports? Like, what was it?
Well, it's always been like it's always been a companionship of wanting to help people.
Okay.
Because I look at it like this: anybody that's starting a business, and this is reality talk. Anybody starting a business,
Real talk, for sure.
You know, whether you're prideful, whether you think you the shit, you think you the man, this and that. We all, as humanity, want an angel or a random person to come say, I'm gonna grab you by the hand and come help you out.
Right.
So it don't matter what it is.
Right.
So it was one of those things when I was looking at them at the time, I'm still trying to help myself out, get to the higher level. So it's like, it's almost like I felt like a guilt. Here, help them out. Help them out because I'm gonna help you out. It's like they need help, but they don't know how to ask because depending on what kind of circumstances they come from at the house or wherever. But at the end of the day, they need help. But I've always had a compassionship, even if I never have money to donate gear, to give merch, show a little bit of love and compassion to people.
And I've seen it.
So
I've seen it. Yes,
I've
sir.
always wanted to help and show love to folks.
Right.
So that's how the personality just kind of mesh, you know? So we'll go back to this. So 2023, we starting the season, the new season, and then I'm sitting there and say, boom, Wall Street athletes. it just clicked in my mind. Wall Street athletes.
Right.
And then I stopped. I go,
remember.
why Wall Street athletes? Why Wall Street? Why Wall Street? I said, wait a minute. These athletes, they're stock. And I was like, oh shit, they're stock. So because
Why let's keep it real, y'all. Y'all see.
You had one good season, and your stock rises.
Uh-huh.
You had a bad season, it drops. You had an injury, it kind of stays steady.
So like Wall Street, it goes up and down.
It's like the stock market.
It goes up
so
and
you
down.
got the buyers,
Super
and
creative.
you got the buyers and the buyers, investors, and the merchandise. It's like, who's the merchandise? The athlete. Who's the buyer? College coaches, sponsorship.
Right.
Who's the investor?
Right.
Mom, dad, grandpa, uncle, great aunt, a coach. I go, that's what they are.
Right.
They're stocks.
They're stocks.
We're at the end of the day, if you really think about it, Ajae, we're all human beings. We're all stocks, because the way we promote ourselves, the way we brand ourselves. If you think about it, CEOs don't become CEOs. They're stock. Certain stocks don't drop to the bottom. They stay at the top. Why? Because it depends what it's been. Now I'm gonna translate this. King David, the shepherd boy.
Y'all hearing this?
The shepherd boy. He was a great king. Why? Because he was a great shepherd, and he ran in the wilderness for years. He was a great shepherd. That's what people get it twisted at. The shepherd boy was so good when he got to the main line because he was a great shepherd. And there's another one that went from the prison to the palace.
Joseph.
Guess what? He wasn't so great at the palace because he was in the prison. And that's what people get it twisted at. You see what I'm saying? So for me, and I go back and I look at myself, I say, Lord, I want this, without even having to verbally say it, but he knows what my heart's at, where it wants to go.
He knows the desires of your heart.
So
He does.
it's like he knows where I want to go. But now it's like, can you get cussed out by parents, calling you a piece of shit, without having to retaliate, especially as a young 29-year-old starting? Can you deal with the media? Can you deal with people condoning you? Can you deal with people that don't even know you, talking crap about you? Humility. And it's like, I had to sit back and say, you know what, all the great ones go through it.
Wow.
I say, man, it's like, I was like, at times I feel like be frustrated. I go, I'm doing for the kids, the athletes. It's like, Lord, like, what is this? Why do I got to go through this? But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Let me go through it. Let me become a better person.
So what it sounds like, this is crazy, y'all. Listen, bro I ain't even asking the questions because he already hitting the questions that I was going to ask him. And it sounds like, to me, there's a development in the wilderness, right?
Yes.
Those wilderness experiences.
Oh, yes.
Going through those moments of where you got to deal with people that you really don't want to deal with, but this
Yep.
is part of your development.
Yes.
With that being said, how has that made you a better CEO for Wall Street? Like, how is that?
Well, it's made me a better CEO like this. One of the things I had to learn is this, because people look at executives or look at CEOs thinking that, oh man, they all making tons of money, tons of living. No, not really, because sometimes they have to take care of everybody else and they go back home to nothing. You know, it's like whenever you wear the crown, you got to be able to deal with a lot of stuff that comes with the crown.
It's gonna come with it.
So one of the things I've learned, it's like, man, so that's why I respect a lot of CEOs, because you don't know what's kind of going on, where they're at really.
Bro.
You know, because sometimes they're not always making the money. They're always making funds. They got a lot of decisions that they got to make that sometimes they can't even think in their own mind.
Yeah.
You know, it comes with getting phone calls at 11 o'clock. Oh, coach, you know, so-and-so is not feeling well, coach. I got into it from moms, dad, grandparents, grandpa, college coaches. And then now I'm getting hit up by NFL coaches, asking me personalities about certain players.
Yeah.
You know, so it comes with a lot. But one of the most important things is that I can't lose myself. I have to learn how to take a deep breath and know how to still make time for myself. But when it's time to respond, it's like I'm constantly going, you know?
And you know what's crazy too? You said something about you never know, right? I tell people, be careful what you pray for, right? Of somebody else's life, because you don't know the currency that they put in to get to where they are.
Exactly.
And I'm not just talking money. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You don't know the blood, sweat, tears. You
Exactly.
don't know the sleepless nights, none of the things that you went through. And the reason why I'm saying and getting to that is because when working with you, I was able to work with Coach Wise for about a year, guys, before God gave me a building for Refuel Station. I was kind of doing a ministry in the marketplace with my brother, and it was such a blessing to do that because it well-rounded me in the community, in the neighborhood of me being new out here in Texas, right?
Yep.
But what I saw too, working with you, bro, like how You're like, for some of these boys that don't have father figures in his life, for some of these guys that don't have that man presence in their life, I've watched you develop these guys to become tough, right?
Yep.
Still keeping their sensitivity in moments and
Yep.
expressing and feeling their emotions, but you've taught them what it is to be tough on and off the field.
Yep.
Where was that in your plan? Like how important was that for you off of the field more than it was on the field? Because I've watched how you work off the field, bro.
So it's like, one thing I'm always gonna say, toughness always wins. No matter what the personality is, toughness always wins.
Okay.
Because toughness is what gets you through as a human. Whenever mom, dad, anybody, a funeral, a loss, you can cry for a week, a day, whatever. But the next day you gotta be able to bounce back. You gotta be tough, you gotta be able to bounce back. You can go through cancer, you can go through a lot of things, you know, you're going through it, but a little bit in you has to have a little bit of toughness. And when it translates on the field, the toughest guys always have a chance on that spot. The toughest guys always give themselves a chance to win
Okay.
in any sport. So to me, that's why toughness is such a big model.
Yeah.
And sometimes you pronounce toughness by just setting the boundaries. People go, why is this? Why the kids got to wear this? Why do they got to wake up at 5 a.m.? Why got to do it? Because they teach them how
I
to be
gotta
tough.
stop him with that. Wise is brutal with that. When I travel with bro, he was like, Ajae, you need to be downstairs 6 o'clock in the morning, full gear. This is what you wear. This, that, and the third. In the beginning, I was like, dang, this is crazy. But when I saw how he was running it and teaching these boys discipline, because here's the reality: if they really want to go to that next level, that's what it's gonna be,
It's cutthroat.
right? And then not even just in sports. Like I tell people, listen, you for interviews and things that you want to do in your life, you need to be there 15 to 30 minutes earlier,
Yep.
just in the vicinity, because you don't know what's going on. And then when you're there ready, and the people could see, because people look at character before they see gift, right?
Yep.
So before you open your mouth, they're looking at your posture, they're looking at how you wear.
Character, yep.
Man, he had these boys up 5 o'clock in the morning, fully dressed, make sure they got something to eat, and we got our game face on, and we ready to work and go to the facility and be off the wall and tear it up at the 707 facility. But what I loved about working with you, man, and I wrote something down, is that you're not just preparing them for the field.
No.
You're preparing them for life, bro.
Exactly.
I've seen him, y'all. This is the truth, y'all. And this is a lot because I know we're going to have to do a part 2 of this, but we ain't done yet. But this is going to be good. But I've seen Wise send young men home that didn't come with the right mindset, the right posture. You don't want to be here. You don't want to listen to what I'm saying, because I'm trying to help you for the real world, because what's going to happen in the real world, they're not going to meet a Coach Wise to give them another chance. They're not going to meet somebody that's going to say, let me show you how to do it this way. Or they're not going to meet somebody that's going to take the time to deal with your attitude or deal with your whatever it is that you're going on. They're just going to get rid of you. But I've seen you be tough on these kids, but then I've also seen you did it for my nephew. I'm just going to go back to what I've seen.
Yes,
I've
sir.
seen my nephew become a dog through your program.
Yes, sir.
He had it in him, but you gave him that bite, that DMX,
Exactly.
that pit bull,
Toughness.
that toughness, man.
Yes, sir.
So would you say, are you more concerned? I know football is the passion for these kids, and football is the passion. Are you more concerned with them making it in that next level or making it in life?
It's more so, it's making it in life.
Okay.
Because this is how I look at it. If they already know that, hey, if they have a goal already, this is what they want to do into college, high school into college, to pay for college. To pay for college and now get paid in college.
Get paid in college,
So
right.
it's like, this is
You
the
get
kind
that
of like the
degree.
best job you can do.
Right.
Because it goes back to having an interview. Like 20 offers is like 20 college offers. It's like 20
interviews.
job offers.
Right.
Now who's gonna pay me the best?
Right.
Who's gonna be the best situation for me to go start at? You know?
Right.
So it's like, it's getting them ready for both of them at the same time. Because having to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, it's like certain jobs, okay,
Discipline.
hey, whoever wants to come in at 5 a.m. in the morning,
Right.
you know, we don't have to, they just said big companies, we don't have to be there till 8. But hey, I'm gonna be there early, get all my preparation done, and then boom, when the stock market hits, we up and running. It's a cheat code. I'm ready, gone. And people also see your character, and also throughout that time, you develop discipline, and you also educate yourself more.
Yeah.
So I always tell the parents, I always tell this to all the kids: hate me now, thank me later.
Hate me now.
I'm not here to kill, steal, or destroy. And I say that for facts. So a lot of parents will look at me, oh, why are you like this? Why is it like that? Guess what? I'm going to ask them one question. Does your son want to go do this at the next level? Do you want to go do this? they're worse out there.
Yeah.
If you don't make it through me, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I go the same way I am about dress code. You know, hey, what are we wearing today? If you sponsored by Adidas, you better have that on.
For sure.
Because if that school's gonna lose that deal, if we're gonna lose our deals and we had to work hard for it, you better have that on. You better respect it and check it.
So I got a question for you. So let me just give this disclaimer out there. Coach Wise deals with every race. And when I say every race, it's every race.
Yeah.
He has black, he has white, he has
Pacific Island,
Pacific
Tongans, Hispanics,
Y'all hear all this?
Native Americans, African kids.
Listen, I've been to practices and I showed up and I'm like, yo, this is like a culture fest right now.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? I've learned some words
Yeah.
that I didn't know, you know what I mean? Something that I did, just being out there. But I have a specific question I want to ask. With you having that multicultural type of vibe with Wall Street athletes, and it's off the hook. If y'all don't know nothing about it, make sure y'all follow and get tapped into it. What separates your organization from a different 7-on-7 organization? Or like, what separates you? Tell them what you do with the kids, like traveling. And
Yeah,
stuff.
so what separates us is this. You know, 7-on-7, it's a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's used to develop skill set in practice while we practice three
Right.
times a week.
Right.
You know, to develop a skill set. And also for me, for a way for me to show coaches who you are and what you're doing. And for me to also know you.
Right.
If I don't know you, I can't promote you to the coach.
Right.
So now the fact that I know you, I've been around you and I see you 3 times a week outside of school, this and that, and I know who's around you. Now when I tell a coach this and that, they take my words. Because your word is bond. You know, so they take my word. So they're like, okay, Coach Wise, you got 150 in the Division 1, 50 in the Division 2. So we take your word.
Okay.
So what separates us that we travel, we give a life experience. Not every kid will go to the NFL. Not every kid will go play at the high level Division 1. You know, some might go D2, some might go D3 NAIA. You know, or some might want to be the best high school players they could ever be because they might have some other ambitions.
Right.
You know, or some come in, they don't believe in themselves, so they become believing in themselves. So we give that experience of traveling. Why? Because I want you to see yourself. That traveling experience is like them manifesting, putting themselves in front of college coaches.
Manifesting, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
getting
that's
promoted,
good.
self-promoted already.
Yeah.
You know, getting on the market. You know, remember, we're Wall Street, so we got to put you on the market. You know, so get on the market. And also it's marketing from being at this university, going to visit this university, this university, this university. And there's no greater experience, I don't care what anybody says, than traveling. Team sport travel is the best, one of the best experiences ever.
Listen, we took over the plane, remember?
Exactly.
It was
you know,
crazy.
because you get to remember it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and also it's like, man, like some of the kids, as you know, never even been on a plane.
Never been on, and we heard them say it
Yeah,
when they was like, oh, Coach Ajae or Coach Y, I've never been. And then to go on the field, look, watch this, y'all. We went to BYU, and we went we were like literally in their spring practice with the passes on, chopping it up with the coaches, the players, and just to have that experience, like you said,
Yeah.
some kids will never get that experience.
Exactly.
And I said to myself, right, so I said, so watch this, Coach Wise. Everybody wants a highlight reel, right?
Yep.
Everybody wants a scholarship. Everybody wants a championship. But development happens when nobody is watching, right?
Exactly.
So the question that I want to ask you is, how do you teach? What's more difficult to teach, ability or attitude?
Attitude. Because ability depending on, they might be coming off of an injury, so they're not able to do a lot of stuff. They don't know, they're grasping, they're slow, or they haven't hit their puberty, their growth. Attitude is hard because it's part of character.
Yeah,
If your attitude is wrong, your ability can get you there, but your character will get you out of there.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So if
sure.
you got there's a typical mindset, okay, I'm gonna wake up today, win the day, we gotta go. Okay, coach is yelling, the environment is crazy, it's hostile, this and that, I gotta get, okay, but I got a solid positive
Right,
attitude.
right.
Because what do we know? There's a lot of great ones that should have kept playing from basketball, football, any sports. What happened? The attitude got
attitude.
in there. Even in work environment, you have a lot of gifted people, musicians, guys that should be CEOs that should still be there,
Bro.
but their attitude is keeping them at a certain level.
And from a spiritual side, what we say, right? Your gift will make room for you, right?
Exactly.
But your character is what keeps you in the room.
And character's
right?
attitude.
And character's
You know?
attitude. And then the old school saying, I remember my grandfather used to say, your attitude determines your altitude.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? You remember
Exactly.
the old school folk used to say that?
Yeah, because
if you got a good attitude, it'll take you higher and it'll help you grow.
And you can handle anything, you know? So it's attitude's the hardest thing.
So watch this. I got a good one for you. How do you deal with super great athletes who have a hard time? This is extremely talented, right?
Yeah.
Who refuse to take correction, but they're extremely talented, and they have the attitude of you can't tell me nothing. How do you deal with that, bro? Because I know you done came across it.
So it's because they refuse to take correction because sometimes it comes with trust. Once I meet a kid, I see that, I said, okay, that motherfucker has a problem with trust. I go, okay, it's all about trusting.
So you got good discernment with these kids.
So it's all about trusting. It's like, because they don't want to listen to you because they're afraid that if they grow to you, are you going to drop me? Are you going to hurt me? This and that. It's all about trust. Is then be able to trust you, you know?
So with trusting, does the parent sometime hinder what you're trying to build in the athlete?
I always tell the parents this, like,
This real talk, y'all. This is real talk.
I always tell the parents this, I'm going to say less and do more. I could be a manipulative and tell you how you want to hear, word it just like this, how they want to hear it.
For sure.
And then they start getting places like, oh man, this person did say this. No, I would try to say a little bit of less and then do more, you know? So when you start doing more, it's like, man, sometimes certain currencies, certain things are happening. What, man, I want to do it like this, but I got to do it like this because how the shift has changed. You always got to see like the wave coming and be able to adjust to the wave. Even though the vehicle was set to go like this, but now I'm seeing a wave where people don't see, and I'm adjusting the wave like this, and people ask me why, I go, I can't really explain, let's just go with the wave, you know? So when parents try to hinder, I sit back and I watch, you know? And I'm like, okay, and I still do my part, either to advise it to somebody else to speak to them, or let them see it firsthand. You know, because that is a hard, tough battle.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Trying to hear your voice over a voice that's been there all their lives.
Exactly. So now I sit back and I go, okay, why are they hindering? Something's going on. I don't got to figure it out right then and there, but eventually answers will come to me. Yeah. Without, it's going to come. You know
what's crazy? I'm listening to you, bro, and as you talk, and when you saying certain things, I don't know if y'all catching this, but I'm catching this. This is really you're very deep in your spirituality because you said you sit back and you listen. And sometimes, right, we can miss what God is trying to say or miss what the Spirit is trying to move in us because either we're talking too much or we have too many voices around in our ear. And I just heard you say you sit back and you watch and you let it just speak to you and you let it come to you. Because that's where I want to pivot, right? Yeah. And I want to pivot from off of Wall Street for a second. Yeah. And I want to come to you, bro.
Let's do it.
Because with all of these things that you're doing and all of the great things that you're doing for these young men and these young women, the enemy doesn't like that, right?
No.
So there's a lot of spiritual attacks that try to come, right? Yeah. How do you handle the attacks? How do you handle what do you do when life hits, bro, outside of Wall Street, and then you still got to show up and be there for the kids? How do you take a moment, or what is your routine of what you do to refuel yourself? What do you do? Because I'm saying that because here's the reality. Everything that you're saying, everything that you're doing, I love it. The people that's listening, they love people that know you, we know what you do. But you can't keep pouring out until you pouring yourself back in, right? So here at the station, we have a thing that we do, right? And we talk about refueling, right? So how are you refueling yourself? How do you get the ammunition? How do you get the tank being on full to keep going and what you're doing on you know what I mean? You ain't got to go too crazy, but just, help some people out because some people don't know, right? Some people just keep working and just run off you. But one thing that I'm loving and I'm hearing about you, bro, like you're a very spiritual man. You are a man of faith. You are a man that believes in God and love what God is doing through you through Wall Street. But what are you doing to give back to yourself so you can keep giving to these kids? Like, how do you refuel yourself?
Okay. So the best way
he wasn't ready for that one, y'all.
No, like it's an easy question for me.
Okay.
The best way I refuel myself, you want to know honestly?
Yes, sir.
So whenever it's a lot of chaos, shit's going wrong, just off the field, and then I got to get ready to get back on the field,
Right.
and then find like that work-life balance, right? I take a deep breath. I said, you know what? Once again, I put everybody first. When you wear the crown, you really at the end. You wear the crown, but you really at the end. So I put everybody first. So I take a deep breath. I say, you know what? Let me take a 2 or 3 day vacation. The season's done. It's the off season. Let me take a 2 or 3 day vacation. Okay? Let me go out of town. Let me just go out of town somewhere random, somewhere I've never been. You know? Or if I go internationally, let me just go somewhere I've never been. And whenever I'm there, I sit back. And as I sit back, it's like these voices start coming back. Now you see where you are. Now this is where they are. Now look what you've done. Now look what's next. It's like, huh? Like what's going on? And then I say, you know what? Let me get off of social media for a week. Let me just look. After a week or 2 weeks off, I get back looking at photos and pictures, and the players, kids texting me out, their parents, and coaches in college texting me. I'm like, damn, they're doing real good. I'm like, damn. And then it just recharged me back like, nah, motherfucker, it's time to go now. You think you didn't see some shit? You ain't seen shit yet.
Right.
It's time to go. You know what I'm saying? It's like a self-motivation, you know, because it's also, being the age that I am right now, at 35 years old, it's like, hey, success for people don't sometimes get when they need to get until they're 40. It's like I remember these things, even though when I'm mad, I'm frustrated. Like, remember, once again, once he got anointed, he was a shepherd for some years. You can have the anointing, but you're still running in the wilderness like a motherfucker. He was a prince in a palace for some years. Remember that. When I go back and I just take a deep breath.
Well, here's the thing. You said something anointed. I gotta chime in on this real quick, because with the anointing, there comes some.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna go through some things that other people not gonna go through because the anointing that's on your life, bro.
And that's one of the things that I had to learn how to take. It's like
manage the
it's like much given, much expected. It's
much
like
is given, much is required.
It's like, you want this? You want to go run the palace? You want to run the Kentucky Derby? You want to do all this? This what you want to do? Let me see if you can handle this shit. If you can't handle this shit, you can't do it. So now it's like, and it's also the competitiveness, you know, the competitiveness that's in me. You know, it's like, so when I go on vacation, when I go on break, when I'm recharging, I'm just resting, but now it's coming.
Yeah.
And that's what's so scary. It's like, I'm resting, Ajae, but it's like this. That motherfucker coming. And I know it's coming. I just don't know how it's going to come. And that's where it's like, tell the truth, it's like whenever I got baptized, I said the day I got baptized, I was afraid. People are like, why are you afraid?
Wow.
It's like, because the war started.
Yeah. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy you say that, because I tell people, like, the enemy don't go after nothing that's not saved.
Bingo.
He don't start going after you until you make a proclamation to God saying, I'm ready to give my life to you. I'm ready to get saved. I'm ready to get baptized. Why would I go after something that's already out there? I need, you know what I'm saying? So
bingo.
Yeah,
and it goes back to this, like, whenever, like, the athletes, you know, they pick up offers, this and that, I'm happy, but I'm also scared at the same time. I go, the war started. It's like when anybody accepts Christ, the Lord and Savior in their life, I cry. And people go, why? I go, because I hope that they're ready.
They don't know what you just said yesterday.
The shit ain't sweet.
Yo, it's crazy.
It's not sweet.
Listen, y'all.
You know,
Coach Wise this is Coach Wise on and off this camera, on and off the field.
It's not sweet. It's hard.
And I tell people, you know, I keep it real at my church, bro. Like, I grew up a PK, so I've seen the antics of it, but I am a real transparent pastor, an honest one. I got a past. I got things that I'm dealing with still now, but still leading God's people because I have a mantle. I still have to wear the crown. I'm going through, right? But people don't know, and they don't really understand, like, when you walk in this walk by faith with God, like, we go through some of the hardest
things
junk
ever. Yeah.
I'll let you say the other word. We
Yeah,
go through some of the
yeah.
hardest
You go through the
stuff,
hardest
man.
ever.
And because there's a anointing on us, and because God has His hands on our life, the enemy is always trying to like get at us, man.
Yeah.
I want to do something really quick. Something that I said that I would do, and this has been a great episode, y'all. We're gonna have to do a part 2 of this because if
Yeah.
y'all don't know, Coach Wise got so many stories. My brother can talk and tell us so many things that he's experienced. But it's something that I do on the show
Yeah.
that I said I wanted to do in this season. And each segment, I wanted to end it off with these things. So it's called Finish the Sentence.
Okay.
Right?
I got
So
you.
I'm going to start it, and then you're finishing it, and then you'll tell us about Wall Street and where people can find you and how they can sign up their kids and get to that level.
Okay.
So let's start. Here it is. God is,
Faithful.
okay. Success is,
Pain.
failure taught me,
Repetition.
the hardest lesson I've learned,
Experience and watching and listening.
my greatest blessing was,
Always being healthy physically and having a mental health.
that's good. One scripture that you live by. You
It's
ain't
the
got to get
script-
it politically right, but go ahead.
It's Ecclesiastics by King Solomon.
Okay.
The wisest man that's ever lived.
Okay.
There's a time. There's a
time.
time to cry. There's a time to snore. There's a
Time
time
to be born,
to
time to
fight.
mourn. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's a time for everything. And sometimes those times can hit in a month. All those seasons.
So if you had to tell somebody one encouraging word or one encouraging sentence to keep them from quitting today, what would you tell them?
I would tell them is find authentic, hardworking people that have success, whether it's financial, whether it's health-wise, whether it's anything, that can always tell you the truth, even though you want to cry, even though you want to this and that, and listen to what they went through. Because sometimes we think we go through the worst, but right behind us or in front of us or to the left or the right of us, somebody else has a worse. And sometimes we just got to take time to really take a deep breath and sometimes go be around those people that have a worse, whether they're rich and they're struggling health-wise, whether they look good, but they're struggling confident-wise. You know? So
Yeah, because I
sometimes-
tell people what we go through is not really for us. It's
No.
for the next person that's going
Exactly.
in, whatever you came out of. So
Yeah.
don't miss that learning. I like that. I like
So
that
it's
a
like
lot,
it's
man.
like each one must teach one.
Each one teach one. Yeah, I heard some people say that a couple of times in my life.
Yeah.
Listen, man, this has been a great conversation. We definitely going to have a part
No,
2.
and I
of
appreciate
this.
you for
I
having
couldn't
me
even
on
hit
here.
my questions because you came ready with the ammo and the gun. You already
yeah.
shot at all the questions that I had. So
As a shepherd, you got to be ready.
you got to be ready. You got to be ready. Listen, y'all heard a lot of this today, and I want to pivot to something really quickly. Literally, out of this conversation, I heard everything that he was saying, that your struggles really brought your success. Everything that you go through is not for naught. It's to put you on the purpose path. You're on your purpose path with Wall Street Athletes, man. How can the people find you? How can they sign up? Give them something real quick.
So you can find us on Facebook right now as we're making the transition to having our own Facebook page. Right now it's Wise Salumba. Last name is Cilumba. You can find us on Instagram, Wall Street Athletes. Wall Street Athletes with the S at the end of it. And also you can find us on our YouTube channel, Off the Wall. Off the Wall, and I'll have Wall Street Athletes, and you can find us on there. So one of the things that I always say, and you heard me say, if you can imagine it, you can create it.
For sure.
So my imagination doesn't come from me. It's creativity, nothing comes from me. So if you can imagine it, you can create it. So
make sure y'all tap in with my bro on all platforms. I'm your host, Ajae. If you want to tap in with me, AJ_G on Instagram, Albert Jerome Gupton Jr. on Facebook. This has been a great episode here at the
Thank
station
you.
where we believe we don't run from it, we grow from it, where your refuel is a must here at the station. Until next time, make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you up. Peace.
God bless you.